Morning, students. Today we will discuss about the capital budgeting techniques or the financial appraisal techniques of project management. Last lecture में हमने डिस्कस किया था like what is capital budgeting or capital investment. Today we will discuss some of the financial methods to appraise a project. So one of the aspects of project management is taking a right decision in respect of the investment of funds. किसी भी बिजनेस की सक्सेस डिपेंड करती है कि हमने किस तरह के बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट किया है, उसमें जो रिटर्न देने की कैपेसिटी है, उसकी जो रिटर्नेबिलिटी है वो कैसी है। तो उसको फाइंड करने के लिए कुछ फाइनेंशियल मेथड्स होते हैं, तो आज हम उन्हीं को डिस्कस करेंगे। इन्हें हम कहते हैं कैपिटल बजटिंग टेक्निक्स। ये these are of two types. First are the traditional methods or non-DCF techniques, and second are the discounted cash flow techniques or the DCF techniques. So the traditional methods are those methods which are not time adjusted one, and these are the non-discounted cash flow techniques. And second are the modern methods or the discounted cash flow techniques, जिसमें हम time value of money को consider करते हैं while calculating the returns of a particular investment project. ट्रेडिशनल मेथड्स में आपके पेबैक पीरियड, अकाउंटिंग, रेट ऑफ रिटर्न, ये दो मेथड्स आएंगे। डिस्काउंटेड कैश फ्लो टेक्निक्स में या जो मॉडर्न मेथड्स हैं इसमें हम पढ़ेंगे नेट प्रेजेंट वैल्यू, इंटरनल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इंडेक्स एंड द डिस्काउंटेड पेबैक पीरियड. So the first traditional method or non-discounted cash flow technique is the payback period. It is the simplest method to calculate the returns, or we can say the returnability of a project. The payback period method is also called a payout method or a payoff method. And this is the most popular and widely accepted traditional method for evaluating a capital investment proposal. Payback period is the period in which the total investment in permanent assets pays itself back. Payback period वो time period होता है जिसमें कोई भी investment, उसमें जितना अमाउंट आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में, वो आप रीप आउट कर पाओ उसके बिजनेस में, जो रिटर्न्स आ रहे हैं उससे, जो भी कैश इनफ्लोज आ रहे हैं उससे, जब आप उसको रिकवर कर पाओ इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट को, टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट को, तो वो पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड कहलाता है पेबैक पीरियड. फॉर एग्जांपल, सपोज देयर इज अ बिजनेस in which you have invested rupees 10 lakhs, and suppose you are able to recover these 10 lakh rupees in 5 years. Therefore, the payback period of that particular business project will be 5 years. So it is based on the principle that every capital investment pays itself back over a period of time from the additional earnings of the project itself. So if we have to compare two or more projects and have to select a single one, then we will see that the project of which the payback period will be shorter or the shortest, that will be selected. Suppose a fixed asset costs rupees 1 lakh and additional earnings from this asset over first 5 years is 24,000, 36,000, 40,000, 40,000 and 32,000 रिस्पेक्टिवली। इस तरह से एक प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट 1 लाख का था एंड ओवर द 5 years these are the cash inflows in the business. So the payback period in this case would be 3 years. How? Because if you sum up the first 3 years cash inflows or revenues, then you will find that within 3 years the business is able to recover its initial investment of 1 lakh. 24,000 plus 36,000 plus 40,000, ये आपका 1 lakh हो गया. And this way you can say that within 3 years the business is able to pay it back. So this is the particular format to find out how someone is able to find the cash inflow from the sales revenues. इसको करने का ये फॉर्मेट है, कैश इनफ्लो फ्रॉम सेल्स रेवेन्यू लेस द ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस इंक्लूडिंग डेप्रिसिएशन, जिससे आपकी नेट इनकम आ जा रही है बिफोर टैक्स. इसमें से आप जब इनकम टैक्स को एक्सक्लूड कर देंगे, माइनस कर देंगे, तो आपके पास आ जाएगी नेट इनकम आफ्टर टैक्स. उसमें डेप्रिसिएशन ऐड हो जाएगा एंड यू विल फाइंड नेट कैश इनफ्लोज. Since depreciation does not affect the cash inflow, therefore it has not to be taken into consideration while calculating the net cash inflows, but it is allowed as an admissible deduction under the Income Tax Act. So in computation of payback period method, we consider this the depreciation this way. So this is the formula for calculating the payback period, in which we divide the original investment or the initial investment by the annual cash inflows. Now there are some merits of payback period method, as firstly that it is very simple and easy to calculate. It is a good indicator to how quickly the amount invested is going to be recovered. And it provides a convenient measure of the profitability of alternative projects, and it aids in the in making the choices to someone. And it is consistent with the liquidity requirement also. So firm having high liquidity requirement prefer this particular tool of capital budgeting. So those businesses who need liquidity, they prefer the payback period method. It is also useful when the firm is suffering with the cash deficiency. So that in that case also they prefer the payback period method for evaluating project. It is a handy tool for evaluating investment proposals, where the accuracy is in estimating the profitability is not so vital. And it is a suitable tool where some business projects are facing uncertainty. So the payback period, which is shorter, that consists lesser risk, it is assumed that way. Okay. So the businesses which face some uncertainty in terms of their product and technology, they prefer this method due to the technological obsolescence and the product obsolescence. Now there are some limitations of the project. First of all, that it ignores all the cash inflows of the entire lifespan of the project. It just consider the cash inflows until the initial investment is paid out. Okay, and after that the payback periods of the later years is not considered. बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस ऐसे होते हैं जिनमें स्टार्टिंग में कैश इनफ्लोज नहीं होते हैं, स्टार्टिंग में किसी भी प्रकार की कोई सेल या कैश इनफ्लोज नहीं होते हैं, बट लेटर ईयर्स में वहां पर प्रॉफिट्स जनरेट होते हैं. तो ऑल द कैश इनफ्लोज ऑफ द बिजनेस ऑफ entire business period need to be considered while calculating their profits or returns. So this is a major limitation of this payback period method. This method also ignores the time value of money. So time value of money, as you would have studied in your financial management, time value of money concept says that the value worth and the money worth today is more than the money worth tomorrow, the same amount of money worth tomorrow. So this kind of assumption is missing in this payback period method. यहाँ पर डिस्काउंटिंग नहीं हो रही है, जो हम प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड करते हैं फ्यूचर कैश फ्लोज की, वेदर इट इज अ कैश इनफ्लो और फ्यूचर कैश इनफ्लो और फ्यूचर कैश आउटफ्लो, उसकी डिस्काउंटिंग नहीं होती है. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू, इक्विवेलेंट वैल्यू जो है प्रेजेंट में, दैट इज नॉट determined in this payback period method. So it overlooks the cost of capital also. This method is not so flexible. A small change in the cost of production will affect the cash inflows, and as such, it will also affect the payback period method. And also it overemphasizes the liquidity, the importance of liquidity, as the goal of capital investment decision is profit maximization, not liquidity maximization. Then the another method, or the another traditional method or non-DCF method, is the accounting rate of return. So counting rate of return is a reasonable rate of return on investment which is desired by the business houses. So this method takes into account the earnings expected on investment over their entire period of business or the whole life. Therefore, all the cash flows in the business will be considered in this. So the formula is average annual earnings from the project divided by the original investment in the project. So this way we will calculate the accounting rate of return. Simply we can say that we are finding out the return on investment right here, or the ROI. So how we are going to calculate? Firstly, we will find the average annual earnings. These are computed by totaling the expected annual profits after taxes of all the years during the life term of the project and dividing it by the total number of years. So the average annual earnings may be expressed in three ways. First, earnings before depreciation and taxes, EBDT. Second, earnings before depreciation but after taxes. And third are the earning after depreciation and taxes. So to find the average investment, we may divide the original cost less salvage value by 2, that because we are going to find the average investment. So the average investment approach is more realistic than the original investment approach. So simply what we can do, to find the accounting rate of return, we will consider the average investment and we'll divide it by the we will consider the average annual earnings and then we'll divide it by the original investment. So again, we are going to discuss the merits and demerits of this method also. So the main advantage is that it is simple and easy to calculate, easy to understand also. So it can be quickly determined and help in decision making. It provides sound yardsticks for comparing the profitability of different projects. And one more advantage of this method over the payback period method is that it considers all the net incomes over the entire life of the project, not till the payback is recovered or for the initial years only, but for the entire life of the project. All the cash flows are considered. Now let us discuss about its limitations. So the major limitation is same as that of the payback period, that is it does not consider the time value of money. This method also does not consider time value of money. And consider the value of all cash flows to be equal, whether it is a future cash flow or the present cash flow, all are equal. This technique uses accounting numbers that are dependent on the organization's choice of accounting procedures and practices. This method uses net income rather than the cash flows. While net income is a useful measure of profitability, नेट इनकम की जगह हमें नेट कैश फ्लो यूज करना होता है, बट यहाँ पर नेट इनकम यूज होती है. And the last limitation is that when we have to make a benchmark or yardstick against the returnability, then the ascertainment of a fair rate of return on the capital investment is so difficult. These are some traditional methods or non-discounted cash flow techniques. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the discounted cash flow methods or the time-adjusted techniques to appraise a business project financially. Thank you very much for listening, students.